Do the same.
No, I'm not ready. Yes, let's go.
No,
And I
no,
was
she
like,
loves it.
yeah, I said I was not ready.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, we were 5 minutes late, so I decided it was time.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, welcome everyone to our first episode of the Raw Talks podcast that is back in full effect. Me and Simba are going to host this together most of the time, and we will discuss different topics. We will discuss life at the farm. We will answer questions, and we will also invite our farm family members and teachers and friends. And yeah, it's been requested actually that we relaunch the podcast. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it was well from several different people, but I think someone wrote us on Instagram and said, "Can I have a Christmas gift? I want one Living with the Spirit podcast because I've been doing the lives or stories on Instagram every day, and then
Yeah.
people said they're great, but they don't get saved, and I started to doing a live every day." And then they said, "That's great, but I can't listen to it on work. I need something to listen to, so I need a podcast." And I was like, "Oh, let's do a podcast."
Yeah. So now it's live streamed in on YouTube, and I also actually added our Facebook group,
Yeah,
the
Living with the Spirit
com-
community.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then it will be also available at Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But if you're listening to this, you've already found us. So
congratulations, first job done.
yeah. So if we do a small catch up about what's going on at the farm, what's going on at the farm? We've been here for 1 year now.
Yeah, 1 year in October, so shy over a year or a little bit over, and I think in general, I think it was just the next step in the oopsie journey, if we were to say that, right?
What's an oopsie journey?
So we came to Thailand with one plan, and then that didn't work out, and then we were like, what we do from here, right? And then that's how we kind of started the center. So it was like an oopsie, like, oh, that was not like, or a surprise or like a plan B. It wasn't really the plan A. And we had an idea already with the farm, right? Like we said, like that we needed a bigger place, we needed to get out of the city, we needed to do something that's more in line with what we're doing with grounding, and not just not just having
Yeah, city energy was not aligned with the grounding at
no,
all.
no, it was just
At
too
all.
too
I was struggling at the end.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I was too, for sure.
Yeah.
It was very different. And then, well, the oopsie is not a common term, but it was more like this opportunity presented itself to us, just like the first one did, with doing something else. And I think that's really how the farm invited us, right? We kind of,
Yeah, I
when,
feel it was like living with the spirit energy as it has been since day one for us. We've
yeah,
just been following the energy, and whatever didn't work out the first time, like with the plan A, well, that was just spirit. For me, it was
yeah,
just exactly what was supposed to happen. And the farm is, I mean, the connection that we've had with the farm is very strong,
hmm,
especially for me and my family. And so it felt like, I mean, we were talking about the farm, like, wow, we should do something. Maybe we should host retreats out there. Maybe like, "No, it's not flowing. It's not super aligning. It's like, oh, I wonder what's gonna. And then, whoa, we're supposed to live there.
yeah. It was really a spiritual calling coming
Yeah,
here, and quite quickly decided to renovate, right, to build, because we needed to update it to the standards of having a treatment center, retreat center. So we'll build the new buildings, change the infrastructure, and also the layout of how we were working. We were working a lot like more one-on-one, and people kind of coming in, like, we being what people come for, and now, sure, we're part of that, but it's also like we invite people into a place, into an energy, into a healing community, even though people are on their own journey. They kind of come into something where they feel it's a safe space. They feel the energy is holding them there, and whatever you bring with you into the farm, that's going to be highlighted, right? So it's really a very cool place, mental, emotional, spiritual mirror, so to say, that you can really kind of get a good grasp of what is it that I bring with me in life and around everywhere. And I think that's really where we landed at right now, to make it into, it's still an individual journey, but that people also can get exposed to those elements of how do I heal in a setting around other people, but I still have my own house and I still have my own little cave I can go into whenever I need to ground and take a step back.
Yeah, it's a lot with the intention. I feel like if your intention is to heal, then the farm will provide that for you, truly. And I feel like we've been here for a little bit over a year, and we've been, the first year I felt like we were cocooning a lot, like nesting, building, upgrading, figuring things out, finding our way, finding our schedule, finding our routines, and aligning with the energy, getting to know the energy, getting to know the area, getting all the setup with the staff and the routines and everything. And now, a little bit over a year later, I feel like we are ready to invite, like, opening up for the podcasts. You're doing lives. We're setting up like newsletter. We're doing online classes, and it's like it's time to share. It's been setting everything up, and now it feels like we can invite people in. I mean, people have been able to come in person, but it's like it's an invitation. It's an energy invitation that is happening now with the new year.
Yeah, and like, I mean, it's the Western New Year, and we also have the traditional Chinese calendar, right? We're in the year of the tiger. Like in the traditional Chinese calendar, you have years with animals, different animals with different qualities for each year. And we're in the year of the tiger, and the tiger pounces. So this year's been big leaps and then nothing, big leaps and then nothing. And that's kind of been the energetical process, I feel. And coming into next year, the shift will be in end of January to February. That's the Chinese year shift. So 1 month after the Western shift is more going into the rabbit year, right? And the rabbit year is really about that being in a safe place, right? That you're in your community, but you're in a safe space, and that you're really staying somewhere where you can heal, or you're investing in somewhere where you can stay and heal. And I think that's really aligned with what we're doing now, that we're doing things online, and we're really opening up, doing more workshops. And like you were saying, we were really nesting, building that energy, and now the energy for the next years, depending where you're looking, are really opening up for people to come and take part of that, and feel that grounding and safety that we feel the space is giving us.
Yeah, I feel like with the energy of the next year that is coming, that we are opening up to provide that safe space in no matter where people are. It's like communicating the ability to heal wherever you are, and joining in on any level that you feel is appropriate for whatever journey you're on. So I feel like with the next year, it's like the rabbit year, the safety that we provide on the farm, and that we're ready to share in multiple levels, multiple forums and services. And I feel like that's what's coming.
Definitely. And just like you said, it is a spiritual journey in general. Like, just coming to Thailand, having a plan, like a Western kind of mindset. This is what we're doing. This is going to happen, and we're going to work hard towards it. And the spirit energy, just like, nope, that's not what you're going to do. That's not your path. And to be open enough to be able to follow that and allow that to happen, because that goes against, I mean, we were open to it, but we still had deep ingrained belief system, you know, when it comes to money and all those things, you know, you can be open to a lot of things, and then it comes to a point where you're like, am I really open in this area when it really will affect me deeply, right? And my capacity to move forward. And we did, and I'm really happy we took that leap and continue to take that leap. Like, that was one thing too. Like, yeah, maybe we have smaller groups here, and maybe we don't have it as big at the farm. And then we just changed and did the opposite, because the energy was not going there. It's not to be a little huddle place, right? It's not saying it's a gigantic retreat space either, but it's to open that energy up and to share it, right? And with that, that's the personal and spiritual growth for us, as well as for people coming here, to really be able to do it in another level.
Yeah, I feel I feel also it's like our calling to open up for more people, because more and more people are gonna start to awaken to the possibility to feel so much better, that it's readily available to anyone, at any level, that there is something that you can do that is within your own power, within your own hands, and that's what I feel like it's not our duty, it's more our calling.
Yeah.
But to be of service and to provide that service on multiple levels. And that's what I feel like we're going out of the more the pouncing energy of the tiger, and the whole shift for us to move here, and it's like opening the doors, like ready to serve.
Yeah, and there's this analogy with wow, I can't remember the name of it. It's called the hero's journey. It's a famous like way of seeing where someone is at on their spiritual personal journey, right? They have the trauma, something happened to them, they go through a suffering, and then they find their elixir or healing or their modality, whatever it is, and then they start to come out of the cave, and they come back to people and just share more and more out of it. And that's really what I feel our journey has been about, like coming here to Thailand, and it continuously is, right? You come to a point where you feel comfortable and like, I can do this, and then it's like, next step, and not in a way in terms of performance or pushing too much. It's more like the energy of being here and working here pushes us to a level where, you know, you need to grow. Like I've experienced it
I mean,
a lot.
that's
like
been going on since day one, I have to tell you. It has not been a comfortable journey for any of us.
At all.
I mean, people ask us like, why do you invite people to your house?
Why do you do that to yourself? And it's like, come on, it's not.
No, because it's the most effective, both for them and for us. It's like we grow because, I mean, part of our belief system is that everyone around us is a mirror. And if someone moves into your house and you start having a massive issue with them, then there's something that you need to look at in yourself. And having multiple people with trauma moving into your house, that shows you pretty fast what you need to work on. And I think one of our coaches said, like, yeah, you did like a what did he say? Like, you did 20 years of work in a 2-year period.
Yeah.
It's like it's like spirit. It's like, so we're following the spirit and following the energy and not resisting too much when things happen. And we try to look at, okay, how can we grow from this? And that's also part of this next phase. It's like, I feel like we just had a call where we start to really dig into these to the birth of the next year and how we are going to align with that energy. And I felt like, wow, this is going to be massively uncomfortable for me. And like, yeah, that's exactly what I need. And when I map that to the internal work that I've been doing the last couple of weeks, I realized like, oh, okay, that's what I need to do. Like, yeah.
And it was so
Growth
funny.
and comfort.
Yeah, and we really had the opposite process, right? Like we're like looking at it like one was stepping into something, one was stepping out and asking for help and being, so it was really like going into different directions,
Yeah.
but both directions were comfortable for us because we're
Yeah.
coming from different places. So it was super, yeah, it was super interesting to see that how something can be comfortable for someone else and it can be not comfortable for the next person. It's I think we even had someone that said that he was coming here as part of an internship for university last year, and he said, I'm really curious about this place because having people that don't feel well to live together in a house, that can be potentially disaster or a really good idea. And I'm curious to see which one is this. So, and luckily he left and said, yeah, that was a really good idea, the way you set it up, right? But just
Yeah.
looking at the mindset, it was like that
Yeah.
that could go either ways.
But I mean, it's all about the intention, and the people that come to work with us, they are ready to shift. They are ready to move on from whatever was causing them the symptom or the issue that they no longer are interested in having. And when people are at that point, they are also ready to be seen with what they are doing that is not aligned anymore. So it's like, that's what I feel like. People who come here, they say like, okay, here I am with whatever is going on. I'm ready to look at it. I'm ready to let it go, and I'm ready to work on it. So when we have people that close to us, it's very easy for us to see what is going on. And when someone is open to receive that information, then the disaster is not really there. Of course it can be friction, and some things might not be super comfortable to see, and it might be a lot of unprocessed things that needs to come to the surface, but when that's the way this I need to look at this right now, I need to do that, then people are coming from another place. Because usually when there is a lot of drama or conflict, that's when people haven't asked for the opinion or for the insight. It's like when it's a very different thing to deliver what you see to someone who's not open, who's not ready, who didn't ask for your opinion. But when someone sits down and it's like, okay, I'm traveling now, I want you to look at what I'm doing, I need to fix this, I'm ready to level up, can you please tell me what you see, because I'm in my own story, I'm in my own thing. So for me, that's why it actually works.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with you. The people we have that come to us, they do the work. There is no, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? No, they're ready. I'm gonna do a shift, and I'm ready. I'm ready to let this go. I'm ready to look at something that's not comfortable at all, right? Because I want to have that, like we say, the chocolate. I want to have all those good things in life. I want to feel great. I want to have an amazing relationship. I want to be able to just wake up in the morning and having a good night's sleep and like, wow, really look forward to my day, and not like, oh man, take a coffee and like, I'm gonna get through this, oh, what did I get myself into opening my eyes up this morning, right? That's not what people have. Like, people that come to us, they're like, wow, I'm they might not
ready
always
to
be,
go.
yeah, they might not always be in a good place, but they're
No.
ready to go. They're ready to really do the work, and that's why it works. And that's what I've been talking about in the Instagram lives the last couple of days, doing the work, that you're consistently showing up for yourself and honoring yourself and being very honest about that process, and even inviting other people in to help you and guide you and navigate you through a process like that. And that's why I think a lot of people come here, because they come to a safe space where they can not be judged and feel that they have time and the Yeah, the space essentially to explore whatever it is they need to explore, right? Like if you're gonna start doing something differently that you've been doing all your life, and you've been feeling threatened and chased and in a dangerous situation, you're not just gonna change that because you see that's bad. You need to feel safe first, and you need to land before you can start to try something differently. And that's where I ultimately believe that the place does. It really provides a safe space for people to transform on a very deep level. And we are merely here as guides to help the people that come here to do that. But they already start the journey. It's not like, oh, what's your secret trick? What's your tool? If I'm here 2 weeks, will I be healed? You are the one that's healing yourself. I'm just here guiding you, holding space, and giving you different tools or modalities to accelerate that process, but you're the one doing the healing. It's just more of an energy alignment. It goes a lot faster when you're in a place where people support you and hold space for you and kind of show you the right ticks and tools at the right timing, say the right words. That will go a lot faster, but you're still on your own healing journey. This is just a fast step forward in that journey.
Yeah, this whole place is created for that.
Yeah.
It's like people start to transform as soon as they set foot inside of the place. Many times people have a, yeah, I mean, it's intention does a lot of things, and then it's like the space, the nature, the people, the community, everyone's doing the work, the classes, the setup, the food. It's like it's all of it. It's all of it together.
For sure. I mean, we had people that detox within the first, I don't know, like 6 hours. It's just like you said, intention. They just set the intention, they land, and they just crash, right? Because the body just feels safe enough to relax. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to read this book. I'm going to do this. And then like half an hour later, I just see them lying on the hammock, just asleep, just relaxing. The body's just calming down and starting to regenerate energy, which is beautiful to see. And like, I really like what you said about intention. You know, like when I look at intention, it's kind of like, what am I opening or closing every cell of my being towards receiving or not receiving? That's how I look at intention, right? Like I just open everything up and I'm ready to receive everything that has to do with that, or I'm not. And that's kind of the two ways intention goes. There is no really in between. Either it's open or it's not, and it can fluctuate fast between them.
Yeah.
But either your body and your energy, spirit body, whatever you want to say, is open or it's not.
I feel like many people maybe who listen to this and feel like, how do I know if I'm ready or not? You know, I think for me, the conversation that I have with many of my clients, they say like, oh, like some people that I work with that have a lot of things going on, and the ride might not be like super smooth, and they have a lot of resistance and things coming up and like that. And then people say to me like, oh, they kind of apologize, like, I'm sorry for being so difficult and blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, that's not it. I mean, it's natural to have resistance. It's natural because it's also like, it's on so many levels. It's like some people come here and say, I feel safe for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
So what happens then, it's the nervous system start to ground, and then they have to go through some of the activation that they've kind of collected previously, and then they need to act out on that a little bit. So people having resistance or being a little bit of like fight or flight mode, that's super natural. It's just very, it's a part of the healing. And it's the job of us and the one who's living here and not taking that personal, and not, you know, going into a fight about it. It's like, it's just a natural process, and just holding space for that. And that's part of the layers that is coming out. And it's not anyone's fault because they're not perfect, you know. It's like that, perfect doesn't exist. It's a journey, and whatever that's part of the safety that I feel that people are responding to. Like, wow, I'm allowed to have all these feelings. I'm allowed to be myself 100%, and I'm accepted and loved for who I am with all of it. And that's what I feel like was one of the bigger things in my journey, that I was accepted with everything that came with it. And I feel like that's why we decide to create a lifestyle for ourselves that we know that we heal from, and then inviting people into it. And that was also one of the bigger reasons that we don't have two spaces. Like, we don't have home and we don't have work, because it's the lifestyle. And I remember very clearly saying to you very, very early on, it's like, I'm not going to hold space for two places. It's not going to be, it's not going to be doable. We have to have one place where we cultivate the energy in one place. And it's better that people just come to us.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree, that is the process. You need to feel to heal. And it's kind of like, if you haven't spoken up to someone, and the first time you do it, you say no, and you're like, oh, should I say that? Was that right? And you kind of feel, you're developing a new skill, or you're looking into a new side of you, and really articulating something that wants to come out, right? Maybe that has been very angry, maybe it's been very afraid, very sad. It will come out in different ways, and people might not understand that, because they might go around with something similar in them, like some unresolved emotion, trauma that is very angry. That's a part of us that's angry or sad or shy or disconnected, right? And those parts will, you need to access them to start to get them out. You don't have to go all the way into the story and relive it all. That's not what we're saying. But you need to have like a connection to it in order to let it go. We can't bypass it. We're disconnected from it for a safety reason. We can't jump past it and expect to heal it. We need to access it. And, that's kind of what people are saying with fears. They say, oh, just do it. Just do the fear and you will get over it. Not really. People fear the way they will feel when they're in the situation that they're afraid of. So you're afraid of the feeling that will happen when you're in a situation that you might be fearful of. So if I'm afraid of, let's say, heights, conveniently, I'm not afraid of heights in itself. I'm afraid of how I will feel when I stand and look over a ledge and get that primordial fear feeling in my body. The whole body's responding, feeling like it's going to fall over or drop back or faint, So that's the saying, And if you can access that feeling and still feel safe, you can access parts of that feeling and still help your body to relax, then you're going to teach your brain and nervous system, almost like strength training, First time you lift a weight, it's like, it's so heavy. Oh, my arms hurt. Oh. But after a while, your body develops, it adapts, it grows stronger, it grows more resilient, more used to it. And this is kind of similar, but in a much more warmer way and not so much performance-based. It's really allowing whatever is inside to come out and feel safe enough to not be angry, not be sad, be integrated as part of yourself. And then there's no need for that anymore. And then I think that's like what you said. People come here and it might be the first time ever they feel safe, because they're like, wow, I'm allowed to let this part out and I'm not punished, and people don't think strange of me or gossip, and I'm letting this part out and I'm still loved, which is the way I believe we're meant to grow up. If you just look at a normal cycle, if you're meant to have all these cycles, sure, you can be reprimanded and taught lessons in hopefully sustainable and healthy ways, but you're still loved, right?
You're still accepted. You're not being pushed away.
No, you're not being pushed
I mean,
away.
it's not like we don't have rules. We have very clear rules.
Of course.
They're not very many, but they're very clear, and that puts us all in a container that is just super clear. There's a difference between being angry and being aggressive. It's a difference between having resistance and talking back to someone, sometimes for the first time in their lives, and being like not fit to have in a community. That's just two different things.
Yeah.
So it's very clear.
And just like Sarah said, like people can look at rules like, oh my God, rules, I just want to be free to do anything, okay, that's maybe because you come from a place of too many rules. What we're talking about is more safe space agreement. It's more what I might say is common sense, is because
That's
that's
what
how
most people say that sign this, like, well, these aren't really, this is common sense. Like, yeah, but we have to agree on that common sense.
exactly for you, because you grew up with that premises and that lessons and that values from the household, the environment you grew up in. Someone else might have not, different culture, different. So that's also part of it, like that you have a safe space agreement that you agree with, and you learn how to navigate around other people, and that's part of the healing too. And that's what I mean, and that's how it becomes more of a community healing as well, right? That you learn how to navigate. That doesn't mean you have to interact with other people a lot. You don't have to do that. That's not the point. You don't have to be here and be all shitty chatty and feeling really bad and you have to talk to people. No, that's not the point at all.
No.
But knowing how I navigate that in a way, so I'm creating a safe space for someone else to have their process, and they are creating a safe space for me to have my process, and we do that in harmony. That's more what we talk about.
Yeah, I feel like the energy at the farm is going more and more towards like really deep inner work, and that the whole place is just adapting into that practice. And I mean, it's like the inner work, but we do it together. It's like it's not a community club, where you hang out like that. It's a community, but with people who are doing the same kind of work at the same time, and the space that is supported, that fully supports the work that you're doing.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's how I look at it too. That it's a place for healing. You come there and you can accelerate your healing, right? So that's kind of like the different steps we've been working on for the next year, to have something for people regardless of where you're at in your journey, and regardless of where you're at physically and you're available to go towards in the world. That we have different products, services, arenas, forums for people to interact and still have the benefits of the tools and the lifestyle and practices that we have learned and benefited from here, even if you're not coming here, that we're able to do that on a larger scale. And that's why we're also doing training programs, or I'm learning how to do training programs for people to be providers, practitioners in TRE first, trauma release exercises, so people can, you heal yourself, and by you being yourself, and maybe that's something you want to work with and help others, just by you've done your journey and you're aware of how you did your journey, and you get the tools and resources to spread that to larger audiences.
No, but the different ways that we will create access to what we have learned so far on our journey, so to speak, and how to access the energy of the farm. Even though, the way you can access the farm is like, we have the podcast now. We're launching it. It's live on YouTube and in our Facebook group, and whoever is watching can comment and ask questions. We will have different topics. We will invite people, and I think we will try to let people know what the topic is in forehand and stuff like that, and who's joining, so we can, so people know, and then they can use the chat and ask questions with us live, and you can listen to the replay. We will have, we're launching today. We're doing our first online breathwork class. So the breathwork is one of our most popular group classes that we offer here. That's like some people, they go through their things and they don't want to, I mean, it's optional to join anything here at the farm, but they do join the breath work. Like, it's always, everyone's always at the breath work. They love it, and it's a highly transformational tool. So it's very easy and very adaptable to do online. So today we're launching the online breathwork class. You will also have a TRE class, but that will only be for people who have experience from TRE or have been here or worked with you previously, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it won't be a
like an
beginner,
advanced class.
yeah, continuation for people, like we're saying, for different purposes. We'll have people that haven't met us and that wants to come here or experience parts of the farm, depending on, you know, where their availabilities are and where they live and what they're able to do. But we also want it for people once they've been here and then get back home, right? That's been a big shift for a lot of people. They come here and they open up and they become connected, and then come home to an environment, and the environment you come back to is the same as you left, but you have shifted. So now you're looking at it differently.
Yeah.
So to help people adapt and come into that, that's why I wanted to do the theory class, to kind of keep it going for people, to have a forum where they meet weekly. We do some theory, we work with the nervous system, and it kind of just helps them to integrate whatever they learn here, or if they've done sessions with us before. So it's to kind of help people at a lot of different levels to maintain their practice, which can be very challenging depending on where you're at in the world, both physically, emotionally, and mentally, but also with your surroundings and, you know, what's going on. The climate of the world, it's changing a lot the last couple of years.
Yeah. And we will also set up like a weekly group class that's coming. So the TRE and the weekly group classes is also coming like next year. We're setting up the structure for that now during the holidays. And we also have the one-on-one private sessions that we can do online. That is very, very like effective, so to speak. It's like we do assessments and we create routines and programs, detox protocols, movement protocols. It's like every aspect of the lifestyle is open for assessment, and it's up to the person, like how deep do I want to go, what areas do I want to look at, and working with both you and me, like every other session, and having a chat group for support and communication. Like some people have a lot of communication in between the sessions, so it's so effective. It works so well. And yeah, for people who want to do the deep work, who are not able to come to the farm, that is a very, very, very good option. And then, of course, coming to the farm is, and then, yeah, coming to the farm, staying here. And then for people who want to help and heal others, we have the academy, where we so far have the TRE teacher or the TRE provider training. But there will be more modalities added into that, step by step, you know.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I mean, you already tried this concept, and it works really well with the people having a group where they can message ongoing, and you just not necessarily always to talk to someone, but more like they leave like you did, like some voice recordings, and then they get some answers, but just they know it's a forum, just that, you know, there's somewhere I can go and talk, is somewhere I can go and be listened and be received in a way that maybe I was at the farm, or maybe that isn't available where I'm at geographically, right? Maybe I don't like, no one likes what I do. Everyone thinks that's strange, right? So just a place where you can maintain your practice and, I don't know, maybe eventually build your own community with your own friends that are similar values. But the first step of coming out of where you're coming from can be challenging, right? So that's also why we kind of want to have these groups for people to start to kind of like, yeah, but, you know, I remember, you know, like when I started shifting my nutrition and my habits and stuff, like I was alone most of the time. Now I don't have an issue with it. I kind of enjoy it, but, you know, not everyone is wired that way. A lot of people, like, arguably we are wired for being with other people for survival and safety and so on. So that's usually the hardest challenge I see with people when I change diet or lifestyle habits and such. It is the environment around them. Oh, my family, what will my family think? What will my friends think? My spouse, my friends, colleagues, whatever it might be.
Yeah, it's about being heard and seen and not judged and not blamed or shamed.
Yeah.
All right. Is that the first episode?
Kind of feels like the first episode.
Yep.
I'm feeling quite content.
Yep. So if you have comments, questions, anything, just reach out to us. We will be here every week at the same time, 11:30 Bangkok time. Not sure where you're at, but please feel free to add comments or ask for topics or anything. And yeah, if you feel like you want to work with us, you have questions, where to start, what do I want to join, just reach out to us. You can always email me at sarah@livingwiththespirit.com. Our website is livingwiththespirit.com. And I'll see you soon. See you next week.
See you next week.
Lots of love.
Lots of love.